Happy deadline day eve, everyone. I'm back from my holiday. You saw a couple of snapshots in the little slideshow before this started. With me, as always, but he was actually doing some heavy lifting while I was away. It's my co-host. It's the Mark Ryman to my right. How are we getting on, Mark?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll be relieved not to have to talk for 55 minutes straight this week. So that'll be nice. I'll let you do all of that instead. Yeah, I'm good. It sounds like you've been on holiday at Faulty Towers. But maybe not in Torquay, maybe somewhere sunnier. Yeah. Anyway,
It was carnage. I was trying to find a quiet place to record, and this hotel was going off until like 1 a.m, and it wasn't going off with like adults. There were adults letting their kids run wild until 1 a.m. It was absolutely disgraceful. Whereas my kids were asleep, the latest by 9:30, 10 o'clock. Disciplines and all that, but all the rules go out the window with foreigners. I mean, I'm not saying anything like that. Whoopsie. I don't mean like that. I mean, they give their kids like an afternoon nap, and an afternoon nap means, well, this is parenting 101. You give a kid an afternoon nap, they don't go to sleep until, 1 a.m.
Well, I can tell you this, where we went in on holiday, it was exactly the same, but all the kids that were going feral were all English. I can promise you that much. So they were the worst ones of the lot.
Oh, there you go. I don't have feral kids. It's parenting 101. Just that you don't let your kid nap. That's that is what all the young parents that are watching this. Don't let your kids nap in the afternoon, because that is a danger nap. You're going to be up with them until 10, 11, 12. They just won't go to sleep. But this is a football podcast after all, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't want to get into how feral my child is, because it'll sound bad. So let's talk about the game anyway, because it was great. It's a good one to talk about for a change.
Yeah, but I was watching it and you were there. Maybe you agree with my assessment, but I felt it was a game of two halves in the sense of tempo. The first half was a very slow tempo, and then the second half, Burton went for it a little bit, and then we stepped up a gear or two.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know whether it was tempo, but I certainly agree that it was frustrating at times in the first half. There were loads of positives. The frustrating bit in the first half is that we were pinning them in their own half. The Jerry Yates block on the keeper clearance from the word go was a real indication of what was going to happen. And I think that everybody was buoyed by that. We just couldn't keep the ball in their half very well. And just you just knew if we were able to string three passes together, then we'd carve them open, because they were allowing us in. And as soon as that happened, and Nordas had his shot, we scored. And the same is true in the second half as well, with the Zach Nelson goal. So I think that while it was frustrating, we were playing football in their half. We had a lot more kind of forward thinking, and Zach Nelson has a lot to do with that as well. Burton were a poor side on the day. I don't know whether they'll be that poor throughout the season, but they were a poor side on the day. I think they were probably up there with Peterborough with a as poor a side as we've seen so far. But yeah, second half, up to and including the third goal, I thought much more control in it. After the third goal, we probably gave him a couple of chances we could have done without. But yeah, I was overall far more positive coming away from it, though, thinking that we've made steps. I felt like we had an identity. I could see what we were trying to do the whole game. We just couldn't quite do it. I'm fine with that kind of. It was more about the previous games, particularly the Cardiff one. I just didn't really know what we were trying to do a lot of the time. So I get what you're saying, definitely, that there's frustrating bits, but it helps when you score 3 goals.
Well, the difference, like from the Cardiff game to this game, I've discussed this with a couple of people. I felt Cardiff played with a lot more pace. and it shows the levels between League One and Championship. Championship is played at a faster pace, and that is what Cardiff did.
Yeah.
Burton did not play at that kind of pace, and we certainly are not playing at that pace. And if we aspire to get back into the Championship, we have to up that pace. And that, I'd say the third goal was kind of that indication of us upping that pace. Like, it was brilliant movement, actually progressing the ball up the pitch fast. But I felt Saville was just there, slowing it down all the time. I mean, he's a great player, great tackler, but I feel the ball has to get released faster, has to get moved to Kodua and Ali faster. It just has to move a little bit quicker.
I think that was Saville's best game for us, personally. I don't think it's his job to do it. I think it's his job to break up the play, a bit like Nakamba used to do for us, and make the easy pass, and then it's up to the person playing alongside him. But yeah, I agree. I said to the person next to me, it's like, we just need too much time on the ball at the moment. We just, we're giving ourselves too many decisions. You can see it when Ali gets, and by the way, I thought Ali was very, very good as well. But there are a lot of times when Ali gets to the edge of the area and he takes so long in making a decision that, the cross isn't an option anymore, and he has to pass it back to Longwick, and you just think, just cross it, first time, and with players like Nordas in there, get it across. So yeah, the pace of the game needs to improve. I think again, I'm okay with all of that stuff, because of the amount of games in. It's the lack of identity and the defensive and playing a style of football to suit the opposition that I didn't like. So the fact that I could see a style of football, I could see what we're trying to do, and we're taking too long on the ball. All right, fine. Hopefully with a bit more training together, that will come. But yeah, absolutely, Cardiff miles above it, and they'll be there or thereabouts, I think, by the end of the season. I don't think there'll be many teams better than them come to Kenilworth Road after seeing them last week. So yeah, no, I agree with it. I think for me, I think I've said it to you already, I think Zach Nelson stood out for me. I thought he was excellent. He made things happen. He wasn't playing with fear that we've had so many of our players play with. He wanted to play forward, which was amazing. I was so pleased that Nordos got his goal. Somehow, I don't know how the keeper let it in, but fine, we'll take it. But I was really pleased for him that he got his goal. I thought Jerry Yates was okay, actually. A lot of people were saying he was, he didn't do anything. I think he did. I think there were some nice layoffs. He's still not sharp enough, but I thought he was okay. And like, both of those wing backs absolutely destroyed Burton on both sides. I mean, Ali can just go past whoever he wants at any point. And it's, we just need those players in the box when he squares it, just to put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, I felt a lot better about it, definitely, and it was good to see us score a few goals and be comfortable in a game. It was an odd feeling in the way, and to feel like that, it's been a while.
It was just iconic. It was actually the first game we'd won by 3 goals since, have a guess. What was the last game we won by 3 clear goals?
Home and away. It would have been
home
Brighton,
and away.
Surely. Would have been Brighton.
It was Watford.
Premier League.
It's Watford.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like when I asked Will, when I asked Will from Luton Facts and Figures, like, what was the last game? Because honestly, my mind was just blank, because I just remember a load of rubbish, like, from the past 2 years.
I'd forgotten about that game, which is terrible, isn't it? But
I know, it was
out by the rest of the season.
Oh, exactly. It was horrendous, and my mind went straight to the Brighton game. It just goes to show how poor the season's been, where we haven't won any games by 3 clear goals. It was much needed prior to international break. Going back to what you were saying about Jerry Yates, I think by virtue of just having 2 up top, it occupies the defense more. 2 sort of big lads. Like, Yates is relatively big. Well, he's 5'10". Nordas is very big, and it made it harder for Burton just by Yates being there. And, when you play 1 up top, you can't really do much, can you? Because you got 2 or sometimes 3 defenders all swarming someone. Where you have 2, that means you sort of split the defense a little bit more, and it gave more space to other players when attacking.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, always comes back to this formation. I think the wing backs, because Ali and Kodjo, they just need to be further up. Their starting position has to be about 10 yards further up. And then they can stretch that defense just a little bit more, especially when, in the case of Burton, they were playing with back five. So you want to stretch those lines just that little bit more.
I mean, you do. I agree. I agree with the formation. I think most people do. I think in this game, they didn't really go back over the halfway line much. I would say that despite the fact of them playing wing backs, they were as wingers pretty much for most of that game. But yeah, no, I agree. I think when the lineup first came out and you saw Naismith dropped, which I'm fine with, by the way, I think he's had a couple of poor games. You think, well, and I think you said it to me on WhatsApp that, he is essentially the reason that we're playing three at the back to suit him. We drop him, we're still playing three at the back, and yeah, I think that was baffling to think that was the case. You've got the perfect opportunity then to get another body in midfield and play either a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-2-1, whatever you want to play. But I think. Despite that, unlike some of the previous games where we have played a 5 at the back and not a 3 at the back, it was very much an attacking version of it, and it worked better as a result. And really, the only reason why we were more frustrating in the first half is that poor first touches, passes going a bit awry, just a lack of composure, really, rather than a problem with the system. It was all going in the right areas. It was just a bit, the pass would be like 10 yards over hit, or, the first touch would end up going straight to a Burton player. But I think on reflection, the system worked for that game. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want 4 at the back, and I hope that with all of the transfer rumours, which we'll talk about later, that are running the mill, that seems to suggest that's the way or the direction things are going in. But I think in that game, how far forward those two players played, it was okay. Yeah, it was. But you're right. You want to see both of those players running towards the opposition's goal, not ours.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Well, remember, guys watching, this is a fan phone in, so we want to hear from you. The call link is pinned to the top of the chat. It's in the description below as well. Get involved. I'll read out some comments. Firstly, good evening to everyone that's watching. Loads of people tuning in. Evening all. Jim, hi all. Great performance on Saturday. Yes, it was much needed, wasn't it? B Hatter says, evening Mark, good to see you back, Ollie. It's good to be back. It was really frustrating. I had every inclination to actually do podcasting while away, but as mentioned before, the hotel was too noisy and all my equipment seemingly broke. I couldn't even upload the audio to Spotify and Apple. And for some reason, when I did upload it, it was all in German. I don't know why. Did you notice that?
Didn't know I could speak German.
Yeah, but apparently it was all uploaded in German. It was very weird. And things weren't working. I took a microphone like this and it broke. It wasn't working. So just nothing was working. It was absolutely mad. So yeah, I couldn't do anything. But it's good to be back. It's really good to be back. Andy C. Mac, evening guys. Apparently we've done a deal to sign Ethan Archer from Cheltenham. Yep, we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's one I knew about, but I didn't know about the loan back, which has pissed me off, for a better lack of a word. DMC123, still not a fan of Ali being a wing back, particularly against better opposition. That's one for you, Ryman. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I agree. I said in that game it worked, but I want to see him as a winger. He is a winger. I think Kajura is a winger as well. I think we need to buy some fullbacks, but that doesn't mean that we don't have more players to suit a 4-3-3 than we do a 5-3-2 or whatever you want to call it, a 3-4-3. I agree completely. I want to see Ali running at defenders, not running back towards his own goal, as I said earlier. And I think the same is true with Kajura. Kajura is perfectly servable, wing back player, but he's much better going forward. Much better going forward than he is going back. You want to see him taking on players. So yeah, I completely agree with that. We have to use our strengths and impose ourselves a bit.
You want a 4-5-1 or a 4-3-3. 4-5-1 when defending, 4-3-3 when attacking. However, then you don't get the second striker. I feel a second striker is kind of needed because it does stretch play, but then if you have the wide men, you have them way up top, then you'll stretch it because it becomes a 3-man attack. But DMC went on to say, much needed result though, even at this early stage of the season. I think that's very true. 12 points from 18 would be better if 15 points from 18, but it keeps us in touch at this early embryonic stage of the League One table. Keeps us sort of
2 points
at
again,
top. Yeah, it's not so bad right now. It's not so bad, but performances will come. They're starting. Here's one from Andrew Stockley. Nordas is going to be our best striker. 20 goals. That is a bold call. I've been a massive proponent. I've been loving Lassie since I saw him in the flesh against Boreham Woods. I loved him, but that is a bold call.
I think he's got a good finish on him. He has to improve, like what we've been saying for the whole team. He has to improve his speed, his sharpness of decision making if he wants to score those kind of numbers in this league. And actually, he needs to just be a little bit stronger. When he's been marked up. I know that Burton have 8-foot defenders. Their number 2 is a giant, but he got bullied off the ball a couple of times. I was quite surprised by it. He's a big lad. I think he's probably not used to that physicality. So I think he's got it. He just needs to, back in a bit more, if you like, and trust that hopefully in League One, that you'll get as many decisions go for you as against you. So I think he's got the finish on him, definitely, and he's certainly been a really promising feature in the last few games. Just those couple of things for me.
Yeah, I feel a big part of it is he's played in the Arctic Circle, for a better lack of a word. They don't play on grass; they play on AstroTurf, 4G, whatever it is these days. Bit different in terms of footing, but he's been here for 8 months now. He trains on AstroTurf. He needs more game time to sort of get used to playing on actual grass. The club actually put out a clip of Kajua absolutely smashing into a Burton player, and it started with Lassie getting barged off the ball. Yeah, I feel the strength will come. It'll come over time. It will.
Yeah.
Comment here from Matt. Nice to win a game comfortably that we should expect to. Doesn't often happen with Luton. And nice to meet you yesterday, Mark. There you go.
Yeah, and you, Matt. Yeah, it was a good chat before the game. I think we were fairly worried after seeing the team news and then obviously the news about Baptiste, which we'll mention in a little bit as well. Didn't exactly fill everybody with confidence, and I was pleased that I was only 37 minutes from home, Matt much further away. So pleased for you, especially that we got the win. Yeah, do you know what? That away end was really joyous for 90 minutes, and I cannot remember the last time. Probably it would have been Newcastle away was the last away game I went to that felt like that. Even Peterborough I went to. By the way, I'm on 100% record for games attended so far this season. There you go. But yeah, Newcastle away probably. But even Peterborough, because it started the season, expectations high. There was still a little bit of that, and the first half, was no better than Wimbledon. Second half was better. It felt really joyous. Lots of funny songs. About trees, obviously. God knows what Burton fans in the home end were thinking we were going on about. But yeah, it was genuinely a really good fun day out. God, yeah, very, very long time since I've been able to say that. Yeah, great terrace as well. Lovely to be able to be on a proper terrace and away day. That's been a while.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like you can hear all the tree songs. Very quick from the Hatters fans. Very quick, I must say. And it's just low hanging fruit, isn't it? Just going for the tree puns. But hey, that's three trees funny, in the bag. So is it goals that we scored this season under reflow, or is it just goals that we score in the green third kit?
Just in the green kit.
Oh, that's a cop out. That's a cop out, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, just in the
That's
green kit. I mean, I would hope that they do plant more than 3 trees, regardless. Otherwise, it's it's getting a little bit industrial. But yeah, it's just in the green
yeah.
kit. So God knows how many times we'll need to wear that, considering our home kit's orange.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many times we'll need a third kit. But yeah, there we go.
I thought it was actually quite a nice kit. It's not Luton, though, is it?
I'd personally, it's not for me.
Mm.
But I
It
don't
looks nice,
care.
but I think we looked a bit too much like Forest Green.
It was a bit weird. It was a bit weird. It was a bit weird watching Luton play in green, I will be honest. But I'm certainly not as angry as some people have been about it in terms of, the lack of the white kit. I think as soon as we saw the away kit come out, we knew the white kit was gone for a season at least. I'd assume so anyway. But yeah, it was. It's done the job, hasn't it? So we better play in green every week.
Yeah. I was getting really worried. Do you remember that time Man United played Southampton? Must have been about 96. And United were playing in like a grey kit. And
The one they changed at half time.
yeah, they changed it at half time. I was kind of worried that was going to happen with us because I was watching on TV and I was like, my eyes aren't the best. I was like, I can't see the players against the grass.
No, yeah, that must be the TV. Yeah,
I was so worried there. Right. Yeah, we can probably start talking about, pre-deadline day, as it is deadline day eve. Did you know
Less than
it
24 hours.
finishes? Did you know it finishes at 7 p.m.?
Yeah, I'd heard 9, but I think that's the deadline for all the paperwork, isn't it? 9 o'clock.
That's
Yeah,
weird, isn't it? 7
clearly the
p.m.
FA want to go home early, so no more 11 p.m. A bit of me being, old and wanting to go to bed at a reasonable time is quite pleased because I don't know, is it the last 2 windows I've stayed up for no reason whatsoever and the club have just not said anything until 11. That's annoyed me. So at least we don't get that. But yeah, it's weird. You're right, it's weird. The whole window's been weird. We had to shut it for the Club World Cup as well, didn't we, for a few days? So yeah, bit weird. You'd imagine it's going to be a fair bit of business. Both in and out now. There's been, after not much all week, there's been a steady flow of rumours for players leaving and players coming in. Some very exciting, some maybe, who knows, unknown ones. And hopefully we get a few of those that weren't featuring in the game against Burton out the door.
So do you want to talk about potential outgoings or incomings?
Yeah, go on then. Let's go with outs first, I reckon, and then we can talk about who the rumours are and stuff for incomings.
Okay, so Fanny's been linked away.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't blame him for wanting to leave because we signed him in the summer window when we were promotion favourites. I hate that term. I hate
in the championship.
In the championship. And then he joins and we're 4th from bottom in January, and the manager's like pretty much about to have the final nail in the coffin put in. I think he played one game as a 10 or a second striker.
QPR, it was his last game.
Yeah, and then Edwards is gone. So I can't blame Fanny for leaving. It's a shame because I feel there's a player in there, and he hasn't really been played in his actual position. So yeah,
I'm sad about that one. I'm sad about that one, but I get it. Same as you. Yeah. I am sad. I think he showed against Coventry what he's all about and how well he can do burst past players when he's playing in that deep line role. But I think it's one that's been he's been rumoured on and off since the very start of the summer, and no one would be particularly surprised if he leaves for the reasons that he said. But yeah, it's one of the ones that if we could have kept hold of him, I'd have been pleased about. But as we should learn, if players don't want to be at the club, they need to go, regardless of how good they are. We need to learn the mistakes from last season in terms of that. So,
look at Aston, he's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
Are Rangers out of Europe now? Are they out of Europe?
I think they may well be. Yeah, they may well be.
There's a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know Celtic went out to some Kazakhstani plumbers or something. But Scottish football.
In the derby today, but I think he was playing. I think he started against Celtic. But
I saw that. He went off after 60 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, he wanted to leave. He needs to leave, draw a line under it and move on. I think exactly. But yeah, Vanny, unsurprising, bit sad, but fine. We'll move on. We've got plenty of midfielders, have we? Well, maybe not so much now. Baptiste is injured.
Yeah, so Baptiste, well, we can put him under the outs, but to be honest, he's not going to get registered for the season because he's done his ACL. That was
An
announced
ACL.
just before the game. I like it how they said he sustained damage to his ACL instead of saying he's had a ACL rupture, which is the most likely thing. But it's going to be, it's going to be the season for him because Baptiste, he's so fragile. His body is made out of Swiss cheese, isn't it?
Yeah.
Melted cheese. I feel bad for him. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, but ultimately, we're still going to be paying his salary when he's, out on the sidelines, and it goes down as an absolutely tragic signing that we've made. I hope he recovers. I do hope he recovers, but
Yeah, me too.
I hope there is some sort of way we can get him out of the club because
Yeah,
we can't just keep thinking, oh, he'll come good. He'll be free of injury. He'll come good this season.
Yeah.
It's a piss take.
It's fine as a signing if he's one of many and he's a risky one, but yeah, we'll take a punt on him. But it's the fact that he was, front and center, the midfielder that we signed in that summer transfer window. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, it's just utter madness. And yeah, I mean, we could have got lucky, but since when have we, Luton Town, made players less injured? There's not many times that's happened. So yeah, it's unfortunate for him because I really think he had a role to play this season. It was clear he'd started to find some form. Bloomfield liked him. He started the first game with him instead of Walsh. It says a lot. And I think given a run of games, he could have shown us a little bit more about what he can do. Clearly, I like the fact that rather than he could have got a move. I would argue he could have got a move back to the Championship. I think Oxford would have taken him as an ex-player of theirs. He could have got a move back. I like the fact that he wanted to prove himself at Luton still, despite having an absolute shocker of a first season not playing. So I like that. It shows a bit about his character. But yeah,
Oxford were never gonna match the salary that we're paying him.
Maybe not. But I think maybe I'm looking at it through optimistic lens, but I feel like he was one of those that seemed to have the right attitude when he was here. At least he just never seemed to play. But yeah, he's an out definitely. So yeah, whether we need a midfielder or not to replace him kind of does depend on whether Fanny leaves as well.
Yeah, and there could be more coming in tomorrow, but Tahith Chong's gone as well. I'm delighted. Yeah, celebrate! Woo! Tahith Chong's
He will be the curse. Sheffield United going to go down now. That's absolutely
going down.
Are you coming round to my idea that Ruben Sellers is a fraud? Yeah. I said this at the start of the season, by the way, before these results. Yeah.
I don't know if he's a fraud. I do.
No, maybe that's slightly harsh, but
yeah, I do think player ego has a big part to play in how a team does. If a team enters a season and just thinks, yeah, I'm going to smash everyone, then they'll realize they don't want it as much as the other team. The other team will kick them off the park, play them off the park.
Down to the manager sort that. You would have said the same about Rob Edwards last season, right? So down to the manager.
And I did.
That.
And
I did. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
No, you did. Regular. Let's not get onto Rob Edwards again.
Yeah, I know.
We could be here. 100%
so
record so far.
The only time, exactly. Well, apart from the Carling Cup, that is the only time I won't begrudge Rob Edwards a win because it was, to spite Tahith Chong, who was injured but found himself on the bench straight away
and played, didn't he?
And then played, yeah, absolutely. But I hope Sheffield United enjoy him. And there you go. Matt Matthew says the same thing. I hope Sheffield United fans enjoyed Chong. Yeah.
I've seen a lot on Twitter about Luton fans going, but this could have been his season. How many times have we said that about Chong? I mean, yeah, he's great on paper. He's one of those players that's a football manager player that would have been great then, but actually in real life, just no thanks. See you later.
Yeah, the thing I really disliked about Chong, he looked like he was really busy. It's like if you're a fan of Seinfeld, it's the George Costanza player where he runs around. He always looks like he's doing a lot, but in reality, he's doing very little. He just looks like he's busy. And he does this thing when he's running. He moves his. I've said this before. He moves his head really fast, like the Chong shuffle. So it looks like he's doing stuff, but he's actually doing absolute jack. I'm delighted he's gone. And Jacob Brown has been linked with a move to Bristol City, but apparently that is off. Apparently they couldn't agree it. I think it's a bit weird that Jacob Brown wants to go, but that's because of the Gerhard Stuber connection with Jacob Brown, because he played for Barnsley under him.
He did play for Barnsley under him. Yeah, maybe. And maybe he's not quite as injured as we think. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of that about. Chong was injured, as you said. Nakamp was injured, and suddenly he's been up. I don't know whether I trust that Brown is as far away from fitness as we've been led to believe. But again, if he wants to play for us, I'd be pleased to keep him. He's a player that I think would do very well as an option going forward. But again, as we said, players want to leave. Let's get rid of him. But I think
want to see players working to get back into fitness. He's another one where it just annoys me, because he's obviously on a wedge. It's easier to just sit and chill and collect your weekly wage rather than actually graft. I'm sure he is grafting to get back to fitness, but is that because he wants to get back to fitness to get a move, or because he wants to actually pay back and get into the team?
Difficult to know, isn't it, with that one, because he's been injured for so long. Who else we got rumoured? Holmes, I saw rumoured.
Rotherham, like he's one. Like he must be nearing the end of his contract with us, hopefully. It just goes to show how shit our recruitment was. The fact that we signed him in the January window in the Premier League, loaned him back. That's why I hate loan backs, because we actually needed him. In that window when we're thin on the ground, he would have been terrible, wouldn't he, in Premier League? Because he's far too slow.
He's too slow for League One, mate. I'm not. I'm not that. I think that could have been a disaster. But I mean, obviously, look, I don't mind the guy.
It was a terrible signing. It was a terrible signing anyway.
It was a terrible signing for the side.
Signed him in the Prem. With one arm of the Championship, he's not good enough for League One.
He's a Matty Pearson type player, which is, we all love Matty Pearson. He can head him out and get rid of it, but he's just not. He's not the player that we need now going forward. So fine with that one. It's a loan though. I've read. I've not seen it be a permanent, but that's probably wages, right? I assume. Again, Robin be able to pay his wages.
It'll probably take him to the end of his contract. How many seasons? This would be his third. So it's been with us 2.5 years at the end of this year. So you'd think it would have been a 2.5-year deal, because you can't offer 2.5 year deals. It'd be a 3-year deal, but it would have been started from the beginning, because he won't be out of contracts halfway through like January next season. Hopefully it runs to the end of this season, and then he can leave with the retained list at the end of the year. We just got to get to the end of this cycle of all the crap that we've recruited from the Premier League. And a lot of them will be out of contracts at the end of the season, you'd hope. And then all the crap that we recruited at the beginning of the Championship season, they will be out of contract at the end of next season, unless if they have options, we'll decide not to exercise the options, or we'll exercise the options to try and get a fee for them, like we did with Walton, who absolutely made a massive howler in the Carabao for Preston against Wrexham. Actually dropped it at the feet of Ollie Palmer or Kiefer Moore. I don't know, one of the tall ones.
Ollie Palmer played for us at the same time as Walton. Have they been in the same team?
No. So Walton. Well, wait, which Walton? Are you talking about Christian Walton?
I'm talking about Christian Walton. No, sorry.
Yes.
Different Walton.
Yes.
Sorry, that's why.
I think he played at the same time as Christian Walton, maybe Joe Pigott as well. Like we had some. Remember, we had Joe Pigott. Yeah, we had Ian Henderson.
Feed
as well.
The pig and he will score.
Not really for us, but
not for us. Just a good thing.
Yeah, we've had some players that you just you wouldn't remember. Just they were unspectacular, and they went on and did
I mean,
bits where
I would have said that about Ollie Palmer, certainly. I mean,
he was terrible.
all
He was
right,
terrible
but
for us.
got the odd
Yeah,
goal, but he's a lot better for Wrexham.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's the Hollywood view. We're gonna get some
certainly is.
comments.
Let's get some
So,
comments, and also let's get some
yeah.
callers, guys, as well, because we have got 25 minutes left. It would be great to hear your opinions on the game or transfer window as well, so that we're not just having a ramble at each other.
I think everyone's saving themselves for tomorrow's phone in for deadline day, so they can all have a whinge about
Right, yeah.
the lack of signings. It's okay. Liam McNiff says, "What do you boys reckon transfer deadline day will pan out for us? Premier League loans? No, Liam, we won't have Premier League loans. They cost too much, and we are tight." Yeah.
Would be nice. Can't see it.
So we got Shaden Morris coming in from Aberdeen. I do worry because it's a bit of a step up from the Scottish Premiership to League One, but we'll see how he does.
I'm quite happy about that one.
Yeah,
I quite like
where's he going to play? Where's he going to play?
Well, yeah, that's a fair question. I think I'm happy about him as a player, but yeah, wingers, interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're playing wing backs, and it only works if the wing backs are pushing up alongside the strikers, or if we're playing a 4-3-3 where they are, contributing to the actual attack, or a 4-5-1 even. He's fast. He's got an eye for goal. But where does he fit? Does it mean Kajua's not going to get game time? Does it mean Jake Richards isn't going to get game time? That's
an interesting one, isn't it? The Jake Richards one doesn't seem like it. I mean, he's back. He was back in the squad yesterday, but arguably because we had one player out the door and one player injured, so and
didn't get any minutes. Didn't come on.
No, he didn't come on. No. But yeah, I mean, wingers is interesting. I wouldn't mind us getting wingers in if we were linked with some fullbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. But you can't have one without the other. Please.
Yeah.
That's the biggest concern. But yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that.
I was thinking it'd be one eye to like shifting the formation, and then we had Ethan Archer as well, who can play anywhere on the left side. He can also play in the middle. I was thinking, maybe this is one idea of getting him playing fullback. And then there's also the possibility there's a backup for Millie Ali. But then the news broke that it's actually, Peter O'Rourke is very reputable. He apparently is a lone back, which annoys me because right now we do need depth. Obviously, it's only 7 subs as opposed to 9, but you can still make 5 changes. And one thing I know for sure is we're going to get injuries. We can't help it. And there are a lot of games as well. So I don't know why we're loaning back a 23-year-old who's had a full season at League 2, excelled at League 2. Yes, he's come from National League South. He came from Torquay. He's had a whole season at League 2. He's 23. This is very similar to Millie Ali, isn't it? In the sense that he's come from the depths of non-league. He's made a splash in the EFL. Now it's time for the next step. We're League One. We're not the Championship. And at 23, like I said it on Discord earlier, like I wasn't happy before the name was announced. I said, I'm not happy with this one because I think he's just going to be one that we're going to sign. We're never going to see him play. And in all fairness, it makes my life as a Hattis Heritage trustee easier because we don't have to put his name on the website if he doesn't make a competitive appearance.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes Will's life easier because Will's the one that puts them up. Yeah,
I mean, we do have a habit of doing that, don't we, as a club? Bringing in players, usually younger than 23. To be fair,
he's a talent by all. Everyone says he's a talent.
Phil Clark's just put in the chat, a theory Archer loan back is preparing for when Ali leaves. Understand we fought off a lot of interest in the window. If Ali continues to impress, we could struggle to keep hold of him in January. Yeah. So there's a theory, or it might be another theory as to why we're looking at so many wingers. I mean, certainly there'll be interest in Ali now, and there will be in January, unless he does his ACL. Sorry, I hope I'm not manifesting that by mentioning it. But yeah, Yeah, maybe. But considering that we didn't even get a backup lined up for Doughty, even though every single person on the planet knew that he was going to leave our club, I'd be surprised if we were that we had that much foresight when it comes to Ali. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, we've rejected a few deals for him, so you know, well, offers even. You know it's
Yeah,
coming. It is coming because he is electric.
brilliant. He's
Yeah,
brilliant.
he's good.
We
And
should be
we're
holding off
playing him in the
offers.
wrong position. We
Yeah,
should be playing him as a left winger, but instead we're playing him as a left wing back. We should be playing a dedicated fullback behind him to support him so he can go forward. But instead we're just playing three at the back. We're often playing a right-footed left centre back behind him as well in Longwick, which I know, just square pegs, square holes. Stop with the square pegs and the round holes and all that. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense. Speaking of left backs, Joe Johnson will be back in November. Hopefully the club announce that soon. Not saying he's the savior or anything. He certainly
no,
isn't. But
it's going to be my question. Is that the answer
it's
then?
yeah, exactly. It's just another option at. I think he could do a job at left back instead of left wing back. Left wing back, you need that searing pace. You need to be able to cover pretty much the entire wing by yourself. And Joe
Yeah, I
Johnson
mean,
hasn't got that in the locker.
no, I think he could as well, but it is a very much a think, right? Well, I mean, it's unproven, and he's not been played in that position, so yeah, we don't know. I mean, it'll be good to see him back. We definitely need some depth in that area, but it shouldn't be a reason not to go out and try and sign another one. I really think we need a right back, number one, and we need a left back as well. Because for me, we not talked about the other side, but for me, Roy Walters is not there.
I forgot
He
about
might
him.
be, but he at the moment is our only dedicated right back at the club.
Yeah.
Odoffin isn't for me, and Izzy Jones is a winger or a
Mhm.
wing back, but he's
Mhm.
not a full back. He's much more attacking than he is defensive. Longwick isn't. He's a centre back through and through. So he is. Raw Walters is our only right back,
Yeah.
and he's not yet up to it. Whether he will be in the future depends. He needs to go out on loan for me, get some proper game time, see how he gets on. But he cannot. Surely we cannot finish this window with him as our only right back. I just I can't see that being the case. We have to look at getting some fullbacks in. As you said already, in terms of Ali, look, of course we're going to fend off bids, but we should do. We have got money. Much to the contrary, that people power court and everything else. We've still got money to keep players as long as they still want to be here. We should keep them. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you offer. No one's going to offer the sort of 10+ million that we could probably be too much to refuse. So therefore, we can afford to turn those down and see how we get on in January, can't we?
Knowing us, like we'll get a piddly bid of like 4 million, reject it, and then Ali or his agent will probably come to us and say, 10, well, a couple of hours before the deadline, Ali would quite like to go. And then
Yeah.
and then we'll be like scrambling around for a
Unscrupulous agents. Yes. Well,
yeah.
let's hope he hasn't got one of
Those
those.
pesky agents. Those pesky agents. In all fairness, Ali seems really down to earth from the vlog that he did. Still waiting for episode 2. I reckon the club probably put the kibosh on that, because the club can be a bit weird about people doing media. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what players were featured though. They might have been out the door since. They might have recorded it and then the players have left. So who knows? But
I know it was
yeah,
its own thing. Ali edited it,
oh, okay.
videoed it, edited
Okay.
it. It's a really good watch. What the highlight for me was Makoso not having a mask on, and then the next time he's on there, he's got a mask on, and Ali's like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" He's like, "I got COVID,"
Right.
and then the next time the mask is off. And then the next we hear is Mark McGuinness has been sent home. He's ill. He's lost like a stone in weight.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that was COVID, wasn't it? So yeah, there we go. So Kate's just said episode 2 is out. It's him on a shopping trip.
Oh, is it? Is it? I'll have to watch that because he's
There we
a lot of fun. He's like the spiritual successor of Pelly. in my opinion. He's
Well, that
a
we
fun
need
guy.
that. We certainly need that. But yeah, who else we've been linked to? Adam Phillips has been very broadly linked by Football League
Oh,
World, which is not exactly the most reputable of sources, but God, would I like that to happen. Plus, it fulfills our Barnsley quota for the season as
oh,
well,
yeah,
doesn't it?
obviously.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm assuming you feel the same as me, right? That sort of, I think he's got 2-3 assists already this season. So for a Barnsley team that are scoring a lot of goals as well.
It would be a good signing. Do I think it's going to
Yeah,
happen? No, I don't think it will happen.
take a lot
Um,
more.
I think there are 2 more hopefully coming in tomorrow. That's what, I don't know how much I can say. That essentially this is an addition to Shaden Morris and I keep forgetting his name, Ethan Archer, who's probably going back anyway. I don't want him to go back, but hey, we need depth, but we only have 7 subs. And then hopefully 2 more. Hopefully it's a midfielder. Well, actually, do we need a midfielder?
Fullback.
Fullback. We need
Yeah,
fullbacks. Yeah, if
I'll
we're
tell you
going to
what.
transition to this 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 or 4-5-1, we need fullbacks in the building. Some competition for Walters, 1 or 2. Well, competition for Cohen Bramall at left back, right?
Yeah,
Cohen Bramall,
exactly.
who got 3 minutes on the pitch the other day.
Well, it is he's not ready, and when he is, then we'll make a judgment call on whether he's going to be good enough. He's shown moments that shows that
I
he
thought he
can be,
looked
but
all right.
yeah,
He
shown
looked all
moments
right. Yeah.
definitely. But look, yeah, we need more in. Regardless, I think for one that we could do with another midfielder, a creative midfielder would be good. I think Zach Nelson answered a lot of those questions on his own
Yeah.
against Burton, and if he stays fit, then brilliant. I'd love it to be him. We all would. Being a Luton boy, although from Spurs, I know. But yeah,
He's not from Luton. His place of birth is not Luton, I
no,
believe.
well, from our academy.
Well,
So,
he
but
joined
yes.
our academy at
Yeah,
17.
no, I made
I
that
hate
caveat already.
Yeah,
So,
I hate that
Christ.
one of our own. He's not one of
Well,
our own. We
he's
pinched him
uh,
from Spurs when they released him. Same as Joe
uh,
Johnson, who came from Arsenal's academy.
he certainly did. But look, I mean, I'm quite happy for him to step up, and if he can carry on playing like he did against Burton, and he had that freedom to play, then brilliant. But it would be nice to get somebody else to link up the play, give our forwards a bit more service. So yeah, that for me.
So
A few people
there's
asking
one.
about a striker.
Yeah,
Do you think we
Martin
need another
Cawthorn.
striker?
Well, Martin Cawthorn just said Rob Street replacing Woodrow. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
a
saw
great
that
idea.
rumor.
Replace a striker that doesn't score with another striker that doesn't score.
Our
So
bid's been rejected, hasn't it? I've seen anyway
surprise,
for him.
surprise. Yeah,
Yeah,
and Gary will probably just be increasing it by like £10.50 every hour until 7 p.m. tomorrow.
like for
Uh,
like. Yeah.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Well, Woodrow is he was at or I've been told I am friends with other podcasters who actually know the Orient owners because at Orient, surprise, surprise, their ownership actually talks to the fan directed media and frequently goes on their podcast. So yeah, Corley Woodrow was at the Orient game. Hooray! Let's just
yeah,
hope there's something there. And wages don't become a problem. I think he's one that's in his final year of his contract. He signs a new
yes.
contract at the beginning of the Premier League season, which made no sense. It made absolutely 0 sense because he'd only signed a contract the season before when he joined. What did he need another contract for?
Yeah.
That Norwich goal? Was that it?
Yeah,
He signed
and
a contract for the
per
Norwich
goal.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Get planting trees. We're giving out 3-year contracts for every goal. But yeah,
Absolutely shocking. So he's hopefully on the way to Leyton Orient. I think he could be all right there. I think Aaron Connolly needs a bit of support. Former Hatter. Aaron Connolly needs a bit of support.
former had to play about 10 minutes. Yeah.
He did. Yeah. Well, he played fewer games than Jason Cummings. What a player. What a nutcase.
I saw it. I saw Jason Cummings at one of the awards, the LTST awards
I queued you up for this.
Yeah, he was. He wandered in with a shopping bag, absolutely bladdered, and got a pretty sizable telling off from Sonny Bradley. By the way, Sonny Bradley, one of the nicest blokes I've met. got a bit of a turn off. You can imagine what that looked like as well. Sonny Bradley, 7 foot whatever, having a word, and it wasn't to be seen again for the rest of the evening. What a surprise!
They
He was
slug
an
him
absolute
out.
nutter. Yeah, they slung him out. Yeah, absolute
Yeah.
nutter.
Yeah, so that's Adam Phillips and Rob Street. They've been linked to us. They be the two? I don't know. It depends if the deals get accepted, or if the offers get accepted. But I think we need fullbacks. We need other defenders. Players are going to be going out, but I think it's a one in, one out system because Ethan Archer's not going to be coming in. He's 23. We don't need to register him. Baptiste isn't going to be registered, so there's going to be a space there. Is Marv going to stick around? There's been absolutely zero about Marv. We just got to pay him off. We have parachute payments. This is our final year of parachute payments. Pay him off. Get him out of the building.
You've got to think that if he doesn't get snapped up,
Who's going to snap him up, man? He's
exactly.
Been
if he doesn't
perennial
get
sick
up,
note.
Oh, it's. I was having a think about it, and I think that he is the best defensive midfielder I've seen play for Luton in my time.
When we got promoted.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. When he was good. And yet, it's so sad that we're all talking about him in that vein in League One now. Who'd have thought that when he came on loan? He was utterly brilliant. He
was the difference. When I was the podcast, I said he is the difference between getting the playoffs and missing out on the playoffs. I was so wrong. He was the difference between promotion and not getting promotion.
Yeah,
he was on flames. He was such a ridiculous player for us. He was so good. He was a Premier League quality defensive midfielder, and now he's broken. He's broken, and he's laughing at us. He's taking the piss out of the club, going to play for Zimbabwe when he's only managed 45 minutes against Orient under 21s. It's absolutely disgraceful. And football is one of the only industries where you can literally pick up a paycheck and mug off your employer at the same time. It's absolutely disgraceful. So, I'm feeling my leg a little bit. I don't think I can play. Yeah, they'll get you in the scanner, but if you say you're not all right, they can't force you to play, can they? If you don't want to be there, then you just get the agent on the blower. Get me out of here! And it's absolutely, I've lost so much respect for so many footballers. Here we go. Let's do a little game because no one's called in. I'm gonna give you 5 Luton Town players. You rank them in terms of bang for our buck. Okay, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have I got to blind rank them, or am I just ranking after you tell me?
Blind rank them. No,
okay.
No.
So first being the most value for money.
I'm getting the least value for money. Okay, yeah, 1 to 5. Let me get a pen. This is a lot of fun for everyone watching. Do this at home. Do this at home, okay? Everyone, get your, blind rankings 1 to 5. 5 being the best value for money.
No, 1 being the best value for money. Surely.
1. Okay, 5 to 1. So we're going at 1 is the shittest of the shit. So the player who is the worst. Okay.
Okay. That's confusing, but yeah, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 1 to 5. Okay. Blind rankings. Everyone, get involved. I want to see the numbers. Okay, so 1 is the worst. 5 is the least worst. The best of the bad bunch. Okay.
Explain.
Shandon Baptiste.
Oh my god. I don't know who else can be coming. I know who's going to be coming out of this. 2. I want some wiggle room. I'm going to put him at 2.
Okay.
I don't think we paid loads for him. We paid
Chong.
Oh yeah, you see this. I knew this was coming. 3. He played more games.
Okay. Ryan Giles.
Difficult because it's either 1 or 4. We got our money back. 4.
Okay. Oh, so you left the 1 and the 5
all on this.
open. As a Barry, who is that? Who's that 1? Is
He's
Ryan
going to
Giles
say
one?
Giles, which is a fair assessment. But I know
Yeah,
Ollie,
like
and I know he's got one in the tank. I know he's got one up his sleeve that I need to put as one. Just I know it. You wait.
Nakamba.
Yeah, I'm not putting it ever as one because of that season. So 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
okay.
probably right.
Okay, so you got Nakamba at 5. I just think in terms of salary, I think
Yeah.
he's
Well, I've got no other options, have I? So, but he
okay.
did. Out of all of those other players, he has had. He got us promoted. You couldn't say that about any of the others. But yes, it wasn't when we were paying the wages.
Yeah,
Earlier.
look, there were just too many I can include as the last one.
Yeah.
Honorary mentions. Actually, no, I'll do the last one first. Okay, Mads Anderson.
Oh, well, that's sad now. I didn't want to put him as one, but yeah, I've got to, haven't I? But yeah, it's probably, to be fair, I think, despite he's had a couple of good games in League One, he'd be in the conversation to be up there for one. Not because he was, but again, a bit like with Shander Baptiste, he's just been injured. Yeah, I was waiting for Danny Spiller's name to turn up. It's turned up twice now. That's who I thought you were going to say, by the way.
I mean,
I thought you were going to.
Danny Spiller's not even on Hatters Heritage because he never
No, he
made
never
a
played.
competitive appearance.
No,
Similar to Gary
exactly.
Richards. But I think Danny Spiller's doing well now. He's living high on the life of Herbalife, isn't he?
Herbalife. Is he still doing that? Is he?
Yeah.
Right,
I think he's smashing it. I think he's converted a lot of people to the cause. Honorable mentions though, like Mark McGuinness. Does Mark McGuinness fill into that category? Because we spent a lot of money on him.
Yeah,
he's not near the top, but
he's not as much as people think. We haven't spent 10 million on him. That was 10 million with all the add-ons. Those add-ons aren't going to be cashed in when we got relegated to League One, so we've got no worry with that. And I think towards the end of last season, he did show what he could do, and he'll be okay. I think he'll come back and he'll be good players.
He's recovering. He's recovering from quite COVID. You can get it badly. Okay, where would Jacob Brown fit in that? I was tempted to put Jacob Brown in there because a lot was expected of Brown.
A lot was expected. Oh well, I don't know about a lot was expected. He was signed in the Premier League for a player who did well for Stoke, but I don't think he looked like a Luton player. I think and he worked hard when he was on the pitch. There were times in the Premier League where I thought he was excellent as well, but just been injured so much, and that's the thing, isn't it? With all of these players. Yeah, I mean he's not far off, sadly, but yeah, he'd be in the conversation. I have a bit of a soft spot for him because the work rate was very good, and he seemed to buck the trend of that low confidence. That goal against Plymouth, I think it was at home. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the goal that took the lead against Plymouth was him when he came on. Just showed that unlike the other players that were just like weighed down by everything, he just didn't seem to have that same problem. And of course, he scored against the Scummers, so you can't have someone in the top.
Didn't he get injured? Didn't he get injured that same game? Pretty sure he got injured
against Watford.
No, he scored towards the end of the game.
He
against
scored
Watford.
right there
I'm trying
against
to think
Watford, and
he did well to
he might have got injured.
That was
against
pretty early in the season.
Yeah,
that was early in the season, and then he got
October,
injured.
wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and then he was gone. Like I mean, in terms of like the wage he's being paid and the amount that we paid for him, reported about 4 million. It's not great. It's like every time Luton Town has spent money, we just shit it up the wall.
Yeah, we don't do well spending money. But that doesn't mean that we should try and get everyone on a free. Matthew Barrow made a good point. Assuming we go up, and I know it's assuming Mark will end up as captain and will be worth whatever we paid for him. Oh. Yeah, that's an interesting and a fair assessment. I think that could well be the case. There's still a fairly long way to go yet. So yeah.
Yeah, I think once he hits stride, I think he is a future captain. I feel there's a lot of there's shades of Steve Davis about him, but he needs to get up to speed. I feel I'd like to see him in a back four. I don't like him in this back three.
Wouldn't we just? I'd like to see any of our defenders in the back four.
Yeah, no, not
Jesus.
Walters. Not Walters.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Can I just, yeah, that is his position though. He is a right back. He's not a right wing back. But yeah, he is. He's a full back, right? That anyway. But yeah.
Allegedly.
I think as well, like I can't remember who it was I was speaking to. It could have been Toby. That it was saying that, you know, when Bloomfield tried for it at the back, it didn't work, and used the Oxford away game as the example. Well, actually, we played brilliant football for quite a lot of that game when we took a 2-0 lead, and then we fell apart defensively. But we also fell apart defensively when we had Daiki, Hashioka, Royal Walters, and Holmes as our defenders. And you then look at that team and think, well, yeah. And then Kaminsky, you know, dictating his box or not, you know. So,
oh my god, that was
it's not apples and oranges a little bit with that one, but yeah,
I'll tell you what, Keeley would come out and, you know, he'd punch Tom Holmes's head off. You know,
well, there you go. There's a signing we spent money on, who has been already worth the amount of money that we paid for him. I
think 1.4 million is the limiting factor. Like anything above what we paid for Carlton Morris, and we have no idea. Right. Yeah. Because everywhere we spent money on, you know, Anderson, 3 million. He broke our transfer record. Chong, then we broke our record again, 4 million. Giles, 5 million. Nakamba, 3 million. Anything Giles above 1.3 million, and we've just we've wasted our money. I think only McGuinness and Morris are the only two players we've spent money on that have actually done bits for us. And don't start with, Morris is scoring goals for Derby for fun. He only scored one open play goal. 4 in 4.
2.
No, it's not. No, it's 4 in 3.
2 penalties, 2 open play.
3 league goals. 3 league goals. 2 of them have been penalties, and 1 was a tap-in. Okay, don't get on at me about you're scoring so many goals. They're being tap-ins and penalties. Tap-ins and penalties. But on the contrary, look what happens when you play a striker as a central player. But regardless, he still goes down as one of the worst captains we've ever had, because all the stuff that's come out from Krul and what he said, like post West Brom, I think, if there was ego or false confidence in the changing room, as the captain, as a senior player, Krul, Morris, you deal with it. The manager should deal with it. It's absolutely pathetic that even happens. But anyway, I'm getting bogged down in last season's grievances. Yeah. Gone.
Good result. We've had a good result. We won the game 3-0. Brilliant. Let's hope we get some.
Forget about the old players. Yeah, exactly. I think we'll be back probably 9 p.m. to sort of assess what's happened in the window, round it up, and hopefully looking at some new incomings. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us, and well, we had no calls, so there was a fan phone in with no calls. Hopefully you're all saving your voices for tomorrow. Everyone, take care. Thanks for joining us in the comments. Thanks for getting involved, and everyone have a good evening. Happy Deadline Day Eve. Take it away.